your city. Mean that it carries some weight. Worry in traffic, I move through the hate. Switching lane and learn, I'm feeling myself. Hop about the road, they calling it murder. Fool for thought this shit, it came with a stir. Repeating my level of body you reach. I just keep it on the up and up.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Y'all on another episode on the Up and Up. I am your host, as always. Y'all could have been doing anything else. Y'all could have been rocking anywhere else. Y'all decided to come kick it with us. I do appreciate that. I got the squad in the building. I got to get my bearings together. It's been a long week, man. Y'all got to bear with me. But how y'all doing, fellas? Y'all all right, man? What's the word? Everybody
I'm good. I'm back at work, so tired. But besides that, I'm all right. I don't like the new systems we got, but I digress about that. I ain't gonna diss Christ on this podcast, sir.
Hey, look, I mean, shit, you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Controversy, man. You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. What's the deal with you?
Everything is everything, man. Hey, look. I'm saying Melly Mayo. Hey, shalom, brother.
Whoa.
Look, Kanye, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Just getting home from work, man. I'm smooth.
I hope work wasn't bad, man. Look,
I'm good.
there you go. Hey, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it, man. I ain't even about to waste no time with it. I ain't about to play around, man. As y'all know, if y'all have been paying attention to anything that's been going on in the last week, you know what I'm saying? It's been pretty much, protesting or whatever on behalf of George Floyd. You know what I'm saying, man? That was killed last week in Minnesota or whatever. And, it was pretty much a boiling point for anybody of color. You know what I'm saying? We just going to keep it a buck, man. And I want to educate y'all before I get started, and then we doing unpopular opinions on all the stuff I done read all over social media or whatever, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that everybody is familiar, you know what I'm saying, with Black Wall Street. And if you're not familiar, Google is your friend, and I advise you to look it up and research it.
But it's Kansas City for people who don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them the you know what I'm saying, the rundown real quick or whatever, man. It was actually, you know what I'm saying, Tulsa, Oklahoma has actually been 99 years removed now, technically. You know what I'm saying? And, it all started with an elevator incident between a 17-year-old girl and a 19-year-old black man. This incident sparked Black Wall Street and the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, in which 300 black-owned businesses was looted and burned down. Looted and burned down is very important. I'm going to need y'all to understand that because that's part of my unpopular opinion that I got, and I'm going to come back to that. Anywho, you know what I'm saying, these black men met this mob of white men at the courthouse, and then everything else ensued the next day to where they went to burn down, you know what I'm saying, this community where nobody was pretty much bothering anybody. Technically, you know what I'm saying, the community was so strong in terms of finances and the way money was exchanged that money exchanged 18 times before it got out of circulation in that community. That lets you know that we didn't need no outside sources whatsoever, you know what I'm saying, to come in and interject to that. But again, I'll get back to that. The accusation was that the young lady was sexually assaulted. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, that was, and that time it was very tense. You couldn't even look, whistle, or do any of that stuff then, you know what I'm saying, to a white woman or whatever. But anyway, you know what I'm saying, all our stuff was destroyed, long story less longer, you know what I'm saying, blood of our ancestors, everything is built on top of that. I said that as my starting point because everything that's pretty much happened up to that point, to 2020 now, you know what I'm saying, has pretty much been in the works then. You know what I'm saying? And I need people to understand, I'm starting with my unpopular opinion right there, that, you know what I'm saying, even if you can't relate to why people are rioting or why they're angry, you can't even have an ounce of empathy for it, then just sit down and don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because in order for you to fully manifest what's really going on, you gotta have walked somewhere or had somebody that you've known or somebody that's experienced some type of, you know what I'm saying, racial inequality for you to even relate to us. We're not asking you to relate to us completely because you'll never be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But don't say, well, I don't know why they're angry for it. Or that was a long time ago. They should just let it go. I'm not letting anything go. The chip on my shoulder is big as day, and it'll always be there because of the color of my skin there. There's no way around that. You know what I'm saying? So if there's no way around that then, and y'all are not able to acknowledge it, even if I try to baby step you and walk it to you and explain it to you in terms that you can understand, that is not my problem that you don't understand. The problem is that you're not willing to even lend me your ear so I can school you then. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll never fully understand it. But I want you to be able to grasp what's going on. We're not asking you to give us anything. Look, the fact that we just want to be equal is half the goddamn battle. But then you got people that want to. Wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and come in because I can rant about this because I feel I'm in there. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Look, I had to talk to Baby Smoke. You know what I'm saying? I had to talk to the little one before I got started. Like, look, you don't understand right now, but you will. You know what I'm saying? I got to let you know this in the womb because, look, we got to get you prepared. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Unpopular opinions, fellas. Look, you know, I've got a list of them, man. I've got a list of them. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I started with that one because that's the one that you're usually going to hear in any time that, you know what I'm saying, we've seen protests or whatever. You know, like, shout out to everybody that's protested peacefully. You know what I'm saying? You said what, B?
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm all for peaceful protests, and I'm all for the other side because it's two sides of a coin.
Absolutely.
You know you're gonna be peace, and it's gonna be ugly. My only problem with with the other side of protest is it's not black folks that's burning stuff down. I hate to say this, but it's white folks that's coming in from other cities with a white agenda. They burning down businesses and making it look like we out here doing it.
Absolutely.
A lot of businesses that's burning down that a black person wouldn't burn. Why would we burn it? That's one of our everyday spots. But like I said, it is what it is or whatever. For all the people that's peacefully protesting, you know what I'm saying? I'm with them and I respect that. Even for the people that's not peacefully protesting, I understand that too. You got to stay down till you come up. I respect it either way. I mean, I get out there. I would get out there in peaceful protest, but as far as on the other end, I couldn't get out there on the other end. I got a daughter I got to live for. So, but I respect anybody that's doing something and, you know what I'm saying, sticking to their guns. You can't do nothing but take your hat off to that and respect it. People ain't gonna understand why you respect it, but like you said, you would have to walk a mile in my skin to understand why I respect it. You had to actually be there when the police was pulling me over for no reason to understand why I respect it. If you ain't if you've never done that, then you can't understand why. You can't understand none of our reasoning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You ain't say nothing wrong, man. And to piggyback on what you said, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm relatively sure that everybody that's in this forum right now has been pulled over, you know what I'm saying, by the police in some capacity and you know what I'm saying, has had a bad experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one of my second unpopular opinions, you know what I'm saying, is not all cops are bad. The fact of the matter is that, no, they're all not bad, but y'all, the good ones that can stand by and idly watch something happen, you know what I'm saying, doesn't make you any better than them then. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I drive by and I see somebody getting beat up, even if I don't do anything remotely close to even intervene, then I'm no better than the person that is doing that then. Period.
You used to say you call the police, but you scared what the police might do.
And it's bad that you got to sit there and make those type of, you know what I'm saying, decisions in the heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, dude, like at this point, you know what I'm saying? I think Mayo has said this to me way back or whatever, man. He said, look, at this point, people are filming, you know what I'm saying, the incidences, but the outcome is almost still happening the same way in some of these other states. You know what I'm saying? So now you just got racism on film. You know what I mean? You got people, you got it in live TV so people can watch it over and over again. That's like living a nightmare then.
Especially if your mom or your brother or anybody in your family see it, they see this man with a knee on his neck. I mean, even I can never forget it. If I cut on the internet and I see my brother with a knee on it, I don't know what I'd do. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say what I do, but all I'm saying is
I know that.
it's
You said what, man?
I'm just not gonna say if my brother would have fucking needed his neck, the last thing I'm gonna do is just stand there and record this shit.
Bigger for police officers. If you're sworn in to protect all these people, what is that? Does protect and serve? Who are you protecting and serving?
Come on. Like, what does it really mean then? You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know what I'm saying, if we not part of the blue line, then you ain't protecting and serving us then. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, then, you know, y'all like us. We going to go ahead and take care of this, and then we going to go home then. But there's no, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's just crazy because I'll never forget that time me and you when we was riding up 94 and that, you know, the state trooper pulled us over. And, you know, when we had our hands out the window, car off, and he telling us don't be scared. But this stuff I'm talking about, like, how can I not be scared? You don't know if you get pulled over to get pulled over to get arrested. And it's not, you know, even not a joke, man. Like, this serious because you really don't know. You never know. Like, you don't know what you're getting pulled over for.
Exactly. You don't, dude. Like, and it's always a 50-50 roll of the dice when anytime when that happens or whatever, man. So, you know what I'm saying? If a person has never had to deal with that, you can't tell me how I should act and what I should do. If I do all the right things, something could happen there. If I do something wrong, something's gonna happen there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? You can't be on the sideline telling me how this should be when I know how it could go. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when all of your times that you've ever been stopped, nothing's never happened to you then. You've never been profiled. You've never been harassed. You've never had any issues. You were able to go on your way. You got your ticket. You made your statement. You complained, and you were gone then. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't say anything to me about that there. I don't want that story from you because that story doesn't fix what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't help the situation at all in the slightest. You know what I mean? So I shouldn't have to have a conversation with my child or anybody else on how to conduct themselves when they get older. They should be worried about going to school, getting good grades, doing this, and that. There's no reason why this conversation should hit the table. Lo and behold, that was the hand that we were dealt though. Nah.
I agree. Now I'm gonna say something. I was talking to my homeboy or whatever. This is why he got at work. His name Jimmy. He a cool guy. And he was like, you know what I'm saying, when I send my children out, you know what I'm saying, I tell them if the police pull you over, you know what I'm saying, just abide by the rules and he'll let you go and give you a ticket and just do everything he says. And I was like, he was like, since this incident, B, how does that change for you? I was like, my daughter's not old enough, but when my daughter is old enough, I'm going to tell her, when you leave this house, survive. Make sure you can come back. Make sure you come back home. Even if you get pulled over, survive. That's all I can tell you to do is survive. Because when it's said, I mean, they shooting people for no reason. They doing all this reckless stuff. So nobody wants their kid to leave. Because I was like I told him, I was like, you never have, I was like, at least with your skin tone as of right now, you don't have to worry about your child leaving the crib and getting harassed by cops and getting shot. I was like, when you turn on the news, it's not white kids getting shot. When they get pulled over, it's black kids getting shot. I was like, so if I was in that situation, I had to tell my daughter something. I tell her, survive, live, do what you gotta do to make sure you survive. Do what you gotta do to make sure you make it home. That's all you can tell your kids. You hate to say that, but that's something crazy to tell your kids, survive. Just one word, survive. White folks ain't telling their kids that. I don't care what nobody say.
No, because they got you know what I'm saying, it's a different, like I said, it's a different hand being dealt in that situation overall or whatever, man. Like, and I need people to understand that too, because that's another one of them unpopular opinions. Well, we've all had the same cards dealt. You can change your situation by X, Y, and Z. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can change my situation, but guess what? My situation was already predetermined for me to begin with. So I got to overcome these odds out the gate there. You know what I'm saying? Let's not talk about even further where if I do make it out of the situation that I was in, out of the project I was in, because that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, what every ghetto around the world is called. It's called a project for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They put you there to basically study you and figure out, you know what I'm saying, what makes you tick then. I'll come back to that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, you get out of that situation only to go and try to compete in the workforce with a person that's underqualified than you, and you got all the credentials to back that up, and you lose that job anyway, and their excuse would be, well, you know, you overqualified technically. Who the hell is overqualified for a job? I went to school to learn. I never understand that. Look, how you laughing? I'm serious. I never understand that though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be
That's what it is.
overqualified. You know what I'm saying? For management, but lo and behold, here we go. You know what I'm saying? But you give it to the go ahead, bro. I was about to keep that.
I was just gonna say, you was gonna say what I was gonna say to certain points. I just feel like it's messed up because the moment that we come out the womb, like we living with prejudgment already. You know what I'm saying? The whole world is prejudging us what we gonna be, and it's nothing positive. It's either we gonna be thugs, or drug dealers. I mean, it's messed up, man. Like you say, they all say we got the same cartel and we can change our situation. If we change our situation, it really don't matter, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be a nigga.
That's true. Change your situation and drive the same car a white boy driving. See, once you get pulled over before he get pulled over.
Exactly.
And the question is, you get pulled over a nice car, is how do you get this, or where you get it from? I mean, it's just crazy, man, to be profiled before you just actually be identified to who you really are.
Man, nah, look, I'm not. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, y'all hit it right on the head, dude. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't recognize that either, then again, you've been living under a rock all this time. You know what I'm saying? Look, you're privileged and you don't realize that there. You know what I'm saying? That's another unpopular opinion. I'm gonna come back to that though. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this is another one that I heard that I was reading about that I thought that it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. Let me be honest. There isn't much racism as people believe. Was another unpopular opinion that I read and heard. Let's keep it a buck. I'm keeping it a buck. Look, I'm keeping it a buck. I am. Dude. Look.
Where they saying it ain't that? It can't be here, because if you go to Upper Michigan, boy, and it's still places in Upper Michigan where the Ku Klux Klan have a chapter and they practice annually, so they out there.
Look,
Brandon, say it again one more time for me, man. Just say it slowly. Just say it one.
All right, I got you, man. Look, there isn't as much racism as people believe.
Right, it's more.
That's like saying that like, you know, you go to B-Dubs and they ain't selling as many wings as they proclaiming to be there, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's like saying that I'm not black. Like, I don't understand why people want to just ignore the fact that racism is still around and it's still strong too. It's not just like here and there and in certain states. We have racism everywhere in the country of America, and there's probably still some racism outside the country.
Absolutely.
Of the United States of America. And we only see, or we get to see what we're dealing with here and now. But for people to say that it's not that much racism going around and we're literally going through it at this moment right now, just means people are ignorant to what our living situations are. And they don't understand that we go through so much mentally, physically, emotionally, day in and day out. When we wake up, we got to pray of how our day going to go, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to get killed by an officer. We don't know if we're going to get killed by a white person. We don't know if we're going to get killed for being assumed as a judge and a thug or a drug dealer or something that we're not even, you know, it's not even our type of persona or anything like that, you know. And that sucks that we have to live like this every day of our lives, because we just want to be as peaceful as everybody else. We want to be able to live and smile every day and be happy, you know. So for people to say that, man, I think it's just too ignorant for me to be living here and be alive and it can witness somebody that's right next to me saying, oh, it's not that much racism. I'm like, well, let an officer come up to us right now, I'll be misjudged before you would.
Absolutely.
People say that because they don't live the life that you live. They don't have the worries and the concerns that you live. That's why it's easy for them to say that. Also, the same time where we live in a community where it's shown all the time is glorified, where you can probably go somewhere else, you probably don't hear much of no trouble because there is no trouble. It's different. We in totally different situations. That's why it's easy for a person that can say, that unpopular opinion that you made, which is not true. Oh, and real quick, I did want to piggyback off that first. I was gonna say that I really don't feel like looting thing, and the only reason why I say why is it because now you see black people or they're showing black people going to stores looting items, but they looted from us in years ago.
Bruh.
Look, and that's see, look, that's what I'm saying though, man. That's why it's
Still
like,
looting to this day though. Still looting to this day though, bro. I mean, not to cut you off, bro, but think about it. You go to court. You go to court in the suburbs. The only black person in there is probably you, and anybody else that's about to get served. Everybody else in that courthouse is all white. Person you got to pay it. Like they take everything from you. They make sure it's hard for you to get back on track. I just feel like they loot from us in just different ways. They just don't understand.
It's always
because they think it's because the system is working. It's going through the system, and so it's not looting. But they take so much from us, man, day in, day out, without even realizing they're doing it. And they just don't care.
The system wasn't built for us. The system was never meant for us.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was about to say the system was never designed. You know what I'm saying? Right there. It's a system in play, but it's not a system that's made for us though. You know what I'm saying? And I need people to understand that too, because people will say that the system works. Yeah, the system works for the right person, for the right
but
people.
Not for us.
Yeah,
because we not the right people.
Like again, if I do any of these crimes that I committed, legitimately, I want to serve my penance then for that. The same penance that you would give him, get the same thing to me then. I'm gonna sit down. Obviously, I'm gonna sit down because I did it. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't about to tell me we did the same crime. He get 2 years and I get 5. That ain't good math by anybody's standards then. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you slice that then.
He get 3 years in probation. You get 28.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Plus, like and community service. What?
So now look, before we keep going, I got comments. I gotta get there. Look, I need to, because I was looking at one thing and then it wasn't coming up on mine. So now I got Josh on one thing, and I'm gonna probably have to get this together or whatever so I can read this correctly or whatever, man. Because all I see you say is that's been my argument this whole time. They stood by and recorded this man. He's being strangled to death. You know what I'm saying? But now I want to attack the police. You know what I'm saying? Courtney said, if you want a visual representation of what happened, go watch the very first episode of Watchmen on HBO. That is referring to, the Tulsa Massacre with Black Wall Street or whatever, man. That is a good show, by the way. Watchmen on HBO. If y'all want to get a history lesson, I urge you to watch that there. You know what I'm saying? If Courtney said also, if there are 10 bad cops and 1,000 good cops, and those 1,000 good cops do nothing, then you got 1,010 bad cops.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, because they turn the blind eye to what is bad. If they want to make a difference, they have to be that one out of that 1,010.
Look, look, she also said they looting from us to rebuild this country. We were stolen, remember? Now, I need that to be perfectly understood because, we know this country was built off the backs of, us, minorities, et cetera, et cetera. And the blood that sits on the buildings that y'all go into in any one of these states is black blood underneath that damn building there. You know what I'm saying? It's been washed away. It's been, written off from the history books. They don't even got a class in school to teach you about these things. That's why it's up to you to keep on letting people know and educating them about the history, good, bad, or indifferent. It's painful. It hurts. But guess what? I need that Band-Aid to get snatched off so we can be like, okay, it's going to start healing. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole thing about healing in this unpopular opinion that I want to talk about.
2 pages.
Slavery is 2 pages. And look, the downside is I'm about to say something else that got another unpopular opinion to go with this because
They're going to build in America and they get to talk about
it's got to be short. It's got to be short. It's got to be short. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody was like, man, if y'all do it the peaceful way, y'all go, you know what I'm saying, with MLK, do with MLK. And they quoting MLK scripture. They feeling good about what Dr. Martin Luther King had to say. The downside is that he was killed even though he was peacefully protesting. So I find that very ironic that, you know what I'm saying, y'all want somebody to do this way and it's still not good enough. Oh, he's too smart for himself. Let's get rid of him. We got to divide them. We can't have this right here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to create confusion. We're going to create chaos. We're going to create discord. Kick you while you still down because you never made it up yet. You know what I'm saying? You ain't made it to the next step. You still trying to get there. But y'all going to use this as a talking point to do what exactly? Because that's not helping the cause at all there. You know what I'm saying? Because Malcolm X was the flip side to the coin, and y'all don't want to see that. But y'all killed him too, though. So if we was violent, y'all gonna kill one of us. If we peaceful, y'all gonna kill one of us. If we got a voice of any type of influence whatsoever, you gonna kill us there.
Peacefully, silently protest, you lose your job.
You know what I'm saying? Colin, I got to get to Colin Kaepernick because this is another unpopular opinion right here. Colin Kaepernick was blackballed from the NFL. We all know that. The NFL decided to tell the truth after the fact and say, yeah, we blackballed him because of this. But it's y'all blackballed him for the same thing that's going on that he was trying to tell y'all. And then y'all make a bullshit apology about why y'all did it and how y'all understand, but y'all still ain't put forth no effort.
The wife beater still got to play, the murderer still got to play, the rapist still got to play.
You know what I'm saying? All of them still got to have their spot, but the man that did a peaceful protest still didn't get his fair shake. And y'all admitting it now after the fact. You don't admit it to me 3-4 years after it's over. That's a shitty apology. That's like you burning down my house, and then I come back to you and see, man, I'm really sorry for burning down your house. I don't know what your family went through, but this apology right here is going to take away all the property damage I did to your house, though. Thank you. I appreciate it. Great job. Dude, you know what I'm saying? That ain't the same thing, man. It's not.
Skin too dark.
Man.
Skin too dark. If he was a fair-skinned man, he'd have been in the NFL playing already.
He was a wife beater, he'd have been in the NFL playing right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can beat your wife. You just can't be black and beat your wife.
Number 4 on my unpopular opinion. All lives matter, not just black lives.
Oh, my God.
Look.
Can we skip this one?
Hearing that.
Huh?
Can we skip this one?
Can we skip? Look, this one, no, look, the person that was supposed to be on the show with us tonight, my man DeAngelis, I hope you somewhere listening right now, man. I called you. I hit y'all, had to make sure you was all good, man. You know what I'm saying? All Lives Matter was created to debunk the whole thing of Black Lives Matter. We're not taking away, you know what I'm saying, y'all livelihood. We're talking about the fact that we are the ones being gunned down on video in cold blood.
They're straight targeted.
We are the ones being brutalized by the cops. We are the ones that are experiencing this type of, you know what I'm saying, inequality there. I'm not taking away from that. I can't sit there and be like, okay, I'll break it down for them like this. My house is on fire right now. You're next door to me. Man, you know what I'm saying? Why are they at your house with the fire department for? My house matters too. So because yours is on fire, mine doesn't count? No, my house is on fire, so they're responding to me and making sure that the fire gets put out of my house there, so I can have a house to go back to. But I'm just saying, though, I'm right next door to you. You know what I'm saying? What makes yours so much more significant or insignificant than mine? I don't know, because the motherfucker is on fire. Like, man, like this, like, you can't break it down no better than that, but they'll find a way to still sit there and try to argue with you about the obvious elephant in the room. Dude.
All lives matter when a black man dies. That's all I'm saying. When a black man dies, everybody come out. But all lives matter. Why didn't all lives matter before he got killed?
You get tired of hearing that same rhetoric over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, like, we're not discrediting you, but you're discrediting us and you still don't want to hear what I'm saying to you then. Even if I've broken it down to terms that you can understand.
They don't
Like
get it.
you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking arithmetic to you. This is pure one side or the other, period. There's no in between with that. But that's one of those unpopular opinions that just be like, man, you know what I'm saying? All lives won't matter until Black Lives Matter. JJ just put that in my comments, man. And look, again, we understand that. How can we understand that and you can't? Okay. It's whew. Moving along to number 5, man. Look. You know what I'm saying?
I wanna
Oh, I got this one. But go ahead, dog. I want to hear what you got to say, bro.
Oh no, you good. I'm trying to go find it right now, but I want to share something that Ed said, and he gets it. I want to hold on, I gotta find it. So my apologies. Here we go. So I'm gonna say the photo, and I'm gonna show y'all on a Zoom what he said. So let me get back to here.
Get up, Craig.
All right, I might see if I can see it. So this is what Ed said. Still all lives matter. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
Absolutely. I think I understand what you're trying to say, and I think your heart is in the right place, but I think you're missing the point, so I'll try to explain. For far too long, African Americans have lived in fear, have been made to feel second class because a lot of people put their heads in the sand, are ignorant, or just plain racist. In order for all lives to matter, first we have to make Black lives matter. You can't have a collective if one of the collective is treated as second class. It's not truly a collective in that case, is it? And you can't have all lives matter ring true if Black lives don't. I feel we should all be treated as equals, and currently African Americans are not. Hopefully one day that can be the case, and on that day, truly, I can agree with the statement, all lives matter. Maybe it's wishful thinking, maybe I'm being naive, but the world I want my girls to grow up in, does that make sense anymore for you? Does that make any more sense for you? I mean, look, and that's a statement that's broken down to the iota, to the singlest form right there.
From another, right? That's what I'm saying. He gets it, and I just want everybody to actually pay attention to what he said and listen to how he worded what he said, because that matters too.
Oh man, absolutely. Look, you know, if you say something wrong, it's going to be the grammar. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. But you still miss the message. You know what I'm saying?
He broke it down for us. No other way that we could have did better. The only thing we could have stretched out more is the fact that we could have put certain things in all caps. Our lives don't matter. We can put that in all caps, but it doesn't matter if he didn't do that. He explained it exactly how we feel.
Facts.
And I thought that was dope for him to say that. Huh?
I want you to touch on something real quick, B. I mean, you might have looked at, you might not have. You know, the Twitterverse been going crazy on B. Simone, Tokyo Jets, a couple other people. But B. Simone was saying that she don't, what she say? Something about she a Christian and she don't believe in all that violence and
don't see. Before you go there, I want you to bullet point that and hold that for a second, because I got a statement I want to put with that, and I'm gonna come back to it. I want to read this comment real quick. Unpopular opinion: white people choosing to remain silent picked the wrong side. Man, I'm saying, dog, look. I mean, man, I swear, man.
I would just keep it all the way 100. I'm just not feeling white people at all. I'm keeping it all the way real. That's all I can do with my brother. It's fuck white people right now for me.
It's not like that for me. I feel like it's, for some reason, I feel like white folks have a love-hate relationship with black people, because the women love the black women. They want to dress like the black women, get big butts like the black women. So there's a variety of white women that love black people. But then you got the dudes that want to dress like black guys, and then they hate black guys at the same time.
See, but
right.
You can't have it both. You can't have it both ways, though. See, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So you can't love my rhythm but hate my blues, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I hear you.
You know, you can't love when we stepping in the name of love and we out there doing this, but then you hating all the other scenes of the movie. Then it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't watch a movie to see the beginning and then fast forward to the end because all the shit makes sense in the middle there. You don't do that. It don't work like that. You can't have none of that like that then. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna be there and you're gonna be knee deep in the shit with us, put the shit on you there. Wear it. Be all the way in there then. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason why they can't be all the way in there like we would want them to, or like how we think they should, because they don't feel what we feel. They can't feel what we feel. They can't understand what we understand. They can see it, but they won't understand it as much as we do because we have to live it. They don't have to live it. They just can see it and they can ignore it. We can't ignore it. We have to deal with it every single day.
But that's why I told you at the beginning of the show, cause that's why I said, like, I don't expect you to be able to understand. But if you're gonna make this walk with me, try to have some type of knowledge so you can explain it to somebody else that might be clueless there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else that needs to be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I understand this right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna educate them to the best of what you bring to the table for me. And if they don't understand, I'm gonna keep trying to make them understand. But you know what I'm saying? Some of these things are taught to a point where nobody want to hear that shit. It was funny that Trevor Noah did a show, and I'm gonna get sidetracked for 2 seconds, but I'm gonna come back though. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Noah did a show or whatever, and I think my man name was Jeffrey. I want to say his name was Jeffrey Kloss or Jeffrey Kleber. Man, and he was out there and he did a full interview with like all these people at a Trump rally or whatever, man. He's sitting there debunking every statement that they're saying to him. He talked about, you know what I'm saying, the LGBTQ community. He talked about the election. He talked about everything basically of the last 3 years that we've witnessed, this whole shit show. He talked about all that shit. And he debunking that shit. They're like, regardless of what's going on, at the end of the day, I'm still going to vote for him. I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to support him regardless of all the facts you've given me. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know that a person ain't operating on facts, is going to operate off of their pure, unadulterated ignorance then. Period. There's nothing you can say to that then. That is scary. That is extremely scary. Look, I had to get sidetracked for that for a second. I'll let y'all have the floor for a minute because I got another unpopular opinion for y'all, man.
I was just going to say that the thing that's crazy is kind of like what you and Courtney said a little earlier. Black history has never been taught in school. There's really no such thing as Black history. Unfortunately for me, and you know, I don't care about admitting it, but I learned the truth when I went to college. I learned the truth about our history for real. And that's the problem with a lot of people now.
That's
like
what I learned history,
they don't want to believe the truth because we've been taught and fed lies for so long. And when you're young, you know, you fed and you just run with it. But now we in an open world where we just willing and able to learn anything that we need and want to. So the truth is out there and people don't want to believe it now. That's why they giving us or making these excuses trying to say, oh, we're crying or we can't get over 400 years. Like, you just don't want to believe the actual truth. That's all it is.
Right, because the truth is in your face, and it still is.
It'll always be in your face. Look, and my thing is that y'all want us to move past 400 years to piggyback on what you're saying or whatever, but it's like, at the same token, it's always around September where you never forget about what happened in this beautiful United States of America. What was that? 19 years ago. That was 2001. Yeah.
2001. That was, I was in school when it happened. Going to my 4th hour, and they said, ding, 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 everybody is going home. We already called your parents. Y'all getting out of here.
Oh. How can you tell a bunch of people to get over something when y'all still walking around wearing Confederate flags? That shit was 400 years ago, too. Whoa. Y'all don't let that go?
Ooh, baby.
Speak. Talk it. Speak.
Baby.
You let it go first.
Look.
I ain't gonna let it go.
Look. I wanted to ring you get a tambourine for that. Look. Unpopular opinion. I'm at number 8 now, man. Look, I got a comment from JJ, and I'm gonna come back to him because I want to answer that, and then I got to get back to B's as well or whatever, man. Because I know we getting close to the end or whatever. But people are more worried about property damage than the value of human life. People was an uprising over this Target shit, man. When they wrecked the Target on the first night, like around last Wednesday, man, it was fucking wicked, dude. Like, it's a building, like every other building. All that shit, you can't replace human life. over a fucking building.
But white folks didn't care until it was the Gucci store, until it was the Chanel store, until it was all those mainstream stores that white folks shop at. When it was the Popeye chicken down the street,
they
or
didn't
it
care.
was fucking the Target in the ghetto,
they didn't care.
They didn't care.
But when it was Nordstrom, they're like, oh, no, y'all gotta stop.
They just want
not even to put Michigan down, but when they thought they was gonna protest at Somerset, they put barriers up. They're like, oh, we got to keep them from out here. Them kids went out there and protested peacefully or whatever. But my thing is, when it's close to a white neighborhood, police is there, it's barricaded up, you can't get nowhere. When it's in a black neighborhood, let them walk free, let them destroy everything.
But see, this the thing. They want you to be quiet, and they want you to say, "Oh, stop complaining or stop whining or get over it." But the same when they had that Gucci store, that Louis Vuitton store on the news, and when the black people was in there, oh, look at these thugs, they running out with everything. And I never forget, as soon as that store was empty, they showed that one white lady coming out with a purse. Oh, this must be an employee. Like, this is the thing. They want you to get over and tell you stop whining and saying that, oh, we're treated badly. But even in the midst of all this shit now, you can still sit up here and shit on us and say, oh, look at this white employee, but look at that black thug right there walking out with everything. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, they do dumb shit and just don't even realize, like, you just being fucking ignorant.
But and see, you got mainstream media to thank for that as well, man, because to them, you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna capture, you know what I'm saying, the good side of things, man. They're gonna capture, you know what I'm saying, all the dirt, all the nonsense, all the stuff that they want to portray out there to put a spin on, you know what I'm saying, just so they can keep creating the same narrative they've been creating there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, look, ready to get busy, man. Hey. And they got tear gas. Also, he could walk across the street and hold a Bible in front of a church for optics. But then you said these people was acting a fool about to storm the gates. You about to get the dogs out and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? That reminds you of some shit back in the 60s then. You know what I'm saying? You try to pull out all the stops there.
The 50s and the 40s.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, like, I'm talking about this shit is just, it's frustrating, man. Like, I want to get back to B shit before I even get back to this, because he said B Simone made a statement or whatever. And I was reading about it earlier a little bit, man. And here's my take on the whole thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You trying to clean up, you know what I'm saying, and make it sound good. You know, again, you trying to save face for optics and make apologies and talk about how you a Christian and everything. You know what I'm saying? You can't backtrack on what you said. You obviously felt that way when you made the statement then. You know what I'm saying? You can't back down now. You got to own that shit. And you're a public figure, so you should know better then. You know
and you make your living off portraying black folks and the way they act and all this hood stuff, but then you're not willing to jump out there with them. When you can't make, if that's the case, don't make no jokes about the black girl down the street being ghetto, and because that black girl that down the street that's ghetto, I bet you she out there protesting, she's standing for something. You got money.
You over there, man.
For nothing.
B Simone did the countdown to $1 million.
Yeah.
She had $1 million in her savings account. It was a huge thing that was on her platform for like 4 or 5 months. She was trying to get $1 million. Who you think made her rich?
Black people.
Black people.
Black people and a black man who helped her start her started her foundation.
How dare you? Have you lost your mind?
And then you go back to hide behind something that people can understand there. You're going to talk about how you a Christian in the church.
Christian and Michelle are at.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way to clean that up. Because now you like, I'll fight with y'all. I'll be on the front lines with y'all. That's after the fact. You done already set yourself in motion now. People got to keep that same energy that they done gave to anybody else that done sat there and sidestepped in that shit.
So now she's down there roped in with Doja Cat.
You know what I'm saying? And JJ said this earlier, and I wanted to get to this before. Oh no, we still got a little bit of time. We good. He said, "White people not speaking, pick the wrong side. You can't force them to speak on all these matters."
That's true.
And that's true. I don't expect you to speak on all these matters. I expect you to pick one and invest in the shit. Then, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that you know is wrong in your heart of hearts. Then, if you know it's wrong and you see this shit and it's repetitive and you ain't asking no type of questions that'll be like, damn, why does this keep happening over and over again? I don't know the whole story. Don't go to the news and get all your information from there and then regurgitate everything you see there and say you're part of the cause. No, you're part of the problem.
Go do your own research. I would rather.
Those would be the same people that will see something happen to a black person and don't call the cops. Those are the same people who see somebody get murdered and then don't go testify. If you are a white person who don't have nothing to say about what's going on, and a lot of y'all got black friends, and I put that in air quotes.
That's another unpopular opinion.
Go ahead, speak talking, sis.
Talking about what's going on, you picked the wrong side. I said what I said.
Look, hold on, wait. Hold on. I will say this though. I will say this. I would rather a white person not speak if they don't think they understand what they're speaking on. If you're not gonna go do your research about what's going on, if you're not gonna actually pay attention to what we're going through, I would rather you not speak, because if you speak, you're not gonna speak the facts of the things that we need to hear or that actually make sense. You're just gonna speak just because you feel like you're saying something right to keep your little I want to say place with your black friends or things like that, or whatever culture you live in. You live with a bunch of black people, or you're around a lot of black people. You want to stay cool with that black family or whatnot. But don't speak if you don't want to understand. But if you truly want to understand,
then look
what we're going through, then you should speak. You should speak.
Look, we can make it. We can make it simple. B. If you ain't gonna be down there with us when we in the mud, don't be up there with us when we in the clouds. It's that simple. If you ain't gonna be in the mud with us,
basically it.
Court, what you got? Come on.
When I say silent white people, I mean the people that have all these black friends and are invested in black culture. But when they get around their white friends and they're around all them Republicans and them low-key racists, they don't correct those people. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the silent people that I'm talking about. People who are friends with them people who be sitting out there spewing all that rhetoric and all that bigotry, and they don't stop them. They don't say anything. They don't tell them it's wrong. Those are the people who pick the wrong side. Because if you'll let them say it and you'll let them go out there and talk all that nonsense, that's the same people that'll let them do something to me. No.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly. Who's to say they're not doing it too?
Exactly.
Big facts. Big facts.
They only a white friend in your face.
Exactly.
And see, that's that unpopular opinion though, man. Look, I got black friends, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Look, I've dated a black guy before. Oh, I'm saying congratulations. You did something common there. That's interracial fucking dating. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing special. You didn't do nothing special.
Your silent friends be your silent enemies. Better watch that shit.
I got one more question because that got real heavy. I feel you though, sis. You going in. You on fire. How come it's only black folks getting hit and fucked up by these rubber bullets? Like they getting shot in the face with rubber bullets and they face down. How come it's no white people?
No, look, that's not true. I actually did research. It's been a lot of people getting hit with them big ass fucking M16 bullets. Them rubber bullets. M16 rubber bullets.
You might say you just hit me. You hit me with the butt of the gun at super speed.
All I'm saying is when I cut on my Twitter or I look at my Instagram, it's only black people who got half their forehead blew off by a rubber bullet and they still alive and their face fucked up. You don't see white folks walking around with a rubber bullet.
That's the media though, Brian. They only gonna show what they want to show, and when it's sad and it sucks. You know,
that should make me mad because all black folks getting bombed on. That's all I see.
I mean, I have seen some videos and whatnot where I actually seen white people protesting with the blacks, and they actually seem like they truly were being on our side. You know, I know a few white people and whatnot I used to work with or that I'm cool with who actually stopped being friends with some of their white friends because they were trying to disrespect us at a whole other level. And they're like, we're not about to tolerate that. So there are some out there that's actually like with us or trying to understand what we go through and whatnot. They may not be able to live it, but they can try to understand.
Yeah, if you don't understand, ask. You know what I'm saying? Like ask
all you gotta do.
And I can give you a real answer because guess what? I'm a living, breathing testament of it every day, which means that you getting it from the horse's mouth.
You ain't got to worry about it being misconstrued. You ain't got to worry about it being misunderstood. You ain't got to worry about it being confusing. Because if you got a question, I'm gonna answer it for you. Then you understand what I'm saying? And
That's
it's
what's
like
up, B.
that's
You
the
do
best
that.
way to be our allies is just to understand and be like, damn, wow,
I'm
I never
I'm
even
not,
seen it that way. You know
I'm
what I'm
not
saying?
giving you the black experience. You want the black experience? Find it on your own.
Look, but no, look. Last week I started this thing or whatever, and we started this Karen Award, man. I'm giving everybody the Karen Award. You know what I'm saying? This week the Karen Award go to Hawkeye, man. You know what I'm saying? My man had a bow and arrow in the middle of a protest.
Make sure you let them know you're not talking about Jeremy Renner.
We are not talking about Jeremy Renner, by the way. Look, you know what I'm saying?
We know you're not talking about the actual person. You call him black.
Look, shout out to the Marvel Comics universe. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about any of you guys, Much love to you guys, all that stuff, man. But no, we're talking about a guy that literally had a bow and arrow. He shot an arrow at a protester in the crowd, and they jumped him. Like they beat the hell out of him too, man.
They were supposed to.
You know what I'm saying? As you should. You know what I'm saying? Look, shout out to everybody that participated in that ass whooping, man.
I hope they had
wait.
White protesters jumped him.
Yeah, that's why I gotta get to. Look, white protesters. Let me go ahead and get this out real quick so there's no confusion. White protesters jumped him. One of them had a skateboard, smashed him with a skateboard. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's not the bad part. He didn't get the Karen Award for that. You know what I'm saying? He deserved all of that shit. The thing he got the award for is when he did the video after he went to the police station in the news, like, I was beat up, you know what I'm saying? And I was beat up by two African American men. No, the video showed that was a lie. Because you got beat. Look, the same people you said all lives matter to was the same ones that beat the hell out of your ass. You caught that fade and you caught that whole L. You know what I'm saying?
Caught that whole
Karen Award.
So
give
two
it to him.
things. After this ends, send me that video.
I got you.
And two, did he truly hit somebody with a bow and arrow?
Yeah, look, yes, that's a fact.
My God!
I'm gonna send that to you.
Now we got niggas thinking they Robin Hood. Come on, man.
I mean, he caught that whole jar of mayonnaise. I hear you.
You say he caught the mayonnaise, the Halesman. He caught the
right.
Look,
mayonnaise. That boy, when you drop it, it wiggle like Jello.
Look, dog, I'm not messing with him, man. Look, so we got about 7 minutes left, man. So I want to shout out my sponsors first and get this part together before we even, close this thing out or whatever, man. But
can I ask you a question real quick?
Absolutely.
What happened to COVID-19?
Man, it's
still out here.
I'm happy you asked that question because I had it in my notebook, bro, and I'm like, damn, I'm mad I didn't get to it, but we gonna get it real quick.
Yeah, look, I don't want to sidetrack or nothing. I'm just saying, all these protests and COVID-19 out here, I ain't hear about no numbers spiking.
Look,
so I'm not
a conspiracy theorist, bro. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm telling you, I feel like it was one thing put in place as a test run, and it was like, okay, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? Stay home, stay safe.
Got 600 more cases over the weekend.
Like, nobody said stay home, stay safe, and then it was like, fuck it. We're going to get all y'all out one way or another. Let's go ahead and put this whole thing into motion and give this a shot and see if this work did. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, everybody out in the streets, you out protesting, you ain't got masks on, y'all don't care about no social distancing. We just out here just catching the whole COVID together. You know what I'm saying? Like it just disappeared.
Right. Like we have sharing a bucket of chicken for everybody. Just come in.
I want to talk about that in crosstalk, man. Look, I'm gonna come back to that, man. Look, but let me go ahead and get my mind right, get this shit together, man. Hey. So, as always, I want to shout out Yum Shots, the lovely Courtney Thompson, my wife, giving you all that delicious liquor-based goodness. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out.
I ordered this week too.
Liquor-based goodness.
Support, we appreciate it. Look, man, I want to shout out RDM Transportation. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Josh. They can get you anywhere in this fine, beautiful. Nah, I take that back. They can get you anywhere. I'd like to shout out 3TD as well as You know what I'm saying? My man Dime, you know, who's on the hook of our theme song every week, man. Hey, shout out to Wine Wild Landscaping. You know what I'm saying? My boy Jay Young, man. You know what I'm saying? Out here. You need your lawn done, he can get you together. Shout out to Touch Events. You know what I'm saying? Look, the world is open. You know, look, Joe, no more COVID, man. I don't know. It's like, he said, yeah, what y'all need? Y'all need this package, man? Look, hey, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, look,
hey,
no,
before you finish.
He said, you want this package? We got you.
Right. Let me just say one thing real quick. I want to do another shout out to Josh and Randy for coming to the Hills, and they actually ran with us. JD gave him a number to do. He said that he asked them to do it at least 7, and they actually did at least 7 on the first part of the Hills. They finished the whole thing with us, man. They took a breath. They chilled out on one of the runs, but they actually did everything. And I want to top them out for actually coming out there to run Hills with us. It was amazing. I had a good group with me, man. It was about 12 of us.
That's what's up, man. Look,
I'm hoping to see you and Courtney this week.
Man, look, I that first week kicked my ass at work so bad. I was like, man,
I'm gonna call y'all at 8 o'clock in the morning this Sunday.
Look, I was comatose, man. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to Josh and Randy as well for getting up there. I want to get that hill together for sure, man.
I'm calling you this Sunday at 8 o'clock.
All right,
and if you don't answer, I'm gonna call Courtney. If she don't answer, I'm gonna just get cussed out.
Bet it up, man. Look, shout out to everybody that's ever shared the podcast, that liked the podcast, follow us on Spotify, follow us on IG, on the Up and Up with B, follow us at Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, follow us at Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream and listen at. Follow us, share this. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it can be a message to somebody. If anybody got any other additional comments and questions and concerns they want to talk to me about, put it in my DM. You know what I'm saying? I'm an open book when it comes to a lot of this stuff, especially stuff like this where there's hot button topics that really just brush you the wrong way, man. Like, I will educate you. Look, you know what I'm saying? This will come from a place of love and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want it to come from a place of, you know what I'm saying, me just sitting you down and telling you this directly. Like, if I got to talk at you, if I got to talk to you, I'll do it either way. You understand? But, nah, I said my damn quote in the middle of our conversation, man. Look, you can't understand our rhythm if you can't understand our blues then. You can't have it both ways, man. And it's like, shit, I ended on that particular note, man. You know, like, shit, this is another episode on Up and Up. You know what I'm saying? All troops in the booth, please be safe. Enjoy the rest of y'all Monday, man. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.